Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working on finishing up the Belmacosa Enforcers. They will be... they're pretty done, honestly. There's not a lot that they have left. But it'll take some time to full-on finish them off. So that is, of course, something that we are working on. The second fleet, I honestly don't think is needed in terminal egress anymore. I really wish that we could just go through the Zepok Vortex and go to Ophong. That would be amazing. Unfortunately, that does not appear to be much of an option, and there's not really a good way to get over to the Boki Consciousness except the Uzab Vortex. We can hop over there, we're already there, and we can simply jump drive over to Barban and hopefully catch this fleet immediately. I think they're going to get out, but we might be able to catch them in a bit. Yeah, they're going to get out. In that case, we should jump drive to Dram instead. And so we shall. There we go. The first fleet is, of course, at Sol right now, and I wouldn't mind having it come over to, like, Zoad, but really what we need to do is jump drive this fleet up to Yon. This needs to happen. And then we are going to go ahead and land on Bear's Fruit, but that is being colonized. Well, that's awkward. I thought that'd be done by now. It is not. It is not done by now. There's an L-gate over here. There's also a wormhole over here, which connects there. That'd be 240 days. Let's see, what would be the best jump drive here? I think the best jump drive would be to come to Eternal Horizon and then jump drive to Chetris.
Scientific breakthrough.
I think that'll be the way to go. We have more armor now, that's fantastic, and we are going to go ahead and grab, how about extraction patterns for minerals from jobs. We really don't need that, though. We should probably go for defense platform damage, I think. And let's go ahead and reinforce the poor 3rd Federation fleet, which should really be moved up to Zulbak's Maw, and we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. Next, these are both ready to go. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4th fleet and the 82nd, which is merging with the 4th fleet. And we're going to move these guys over to... Well, we need to wait until this guy gets out of FTL. And then we're going to head to Hokaja. We're going to do the same with just the 4th fleet here. The others should be able to jump drive in, I think? But I don't know that for a fact. We'll see. Okay, we are now behind enemy lines. And yeah, they're preparing to jump. Good. We're going to head into the center of the system.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
There we go. And we'll leave one of our fleets here to go ahead and hold this location. And that'll be the 60k fleet. And the 50k fleet... we are... which is which? Okay, there we go. I was looking for that number. The 50k fleet, we're going to send out over this way to stop their push over here. Just something like that. Should do the trick. This transport fleet is still on its way over. This transport fleet is pretty done here. Honestly, what is left for this machine uprising? I have no idea. What do they even have? Partly occupied. That explains it. They have Mexus. We're going to land there. They also have Florum. Okay, we're going to grab those. The first fleet is in Sol and is just about done being reinforced. We'll go ahead and work on that, although this doesn't look right. This doesn't look right at all. I really wish that Paradox would fix this. We have 7 too many Corvettes in here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and transfer off a few Corvettes. There we go. And then we will modify this fleet. Be back to its 48 number. There we go. Now that's correct. And the 19th fleet can be merged with, say, the 3rd Federation. Should be fine. It's not going. Okay. So we're going to have to manually move them up here, I guess. It won't take them very long to get there. And these guys can continue to be reinforced. Rising unemployment on Levensis, and we should probably look into our colonies. Earth actually has a worker unemployment, and there's nothing more that we can do here unless we wanted to, say, drop the Hall of Judgment, but that would actually lose us a job. So let's go ahead and resettle this person over to, let's see, how many... Oh, that's a lot of potential jobs on Procyon Prime. We can move them on over there. Wonderful. What else do we need? Viola still needs a job. The Advanced Research Complex rebuilding will be fine for that. Levensis needs a system upgrade complex as well as some repairs on its... what am I thinking? It does not have devastation right now. It does need a system capital complex, though, and it could use some building slots being filled, I guess. It has a lot of unemployment. Moat harvesting traps are a good thing to build. Planet limit of 1. Let's see what else is available here. Not really much of anything. Let's go ahead and put in some civilian industries because we definitely do have a big deficit of consumer goods right now. We also finished up our shield harmonics. And we'll grab Shield Harmonics 7. Okay. We'll call that good. First fleet will be done being reinforced very, very soon. And we are invading over here. Although I am noticing there's a fleet here. Although that fleet is very, very wounded. I think that this fleet does not survive this attack. That said, we're not really doing much of any damage to them. At all. Their shields are holding. They are taking a few hits. They have very little hull points. Very, very little hull points. Okay. Well, we're going to need to do something about that. We're going to send the 3rd fleet in. It's within jump drive range, so this is fine. On Mexis, how long until this is over? Still a little while, so we should have time for that. The 2nd fleet is... I was going to reinforce them. What exactly would the point of that be? We need to head over this direction. Something like so. Okay. These guys have grabbed this territory over here. We'll let them have it. And we'll move back to Hokaja. This is partly occupied by the Euthonians right now. And they're going to head up over here. That 60k fleet, I think, will die to this. That said, they have this 100k fleet on the way. So there is that. They're definitely doing a coattail war. There's no doubt about it. We're going to jump drive to Chetris, and that should allow us to come in somewhere over this way, I think. That's partly occupied. It comes in like that. That's right. And Bloom is where we need to land. Sounds good. Okay. So how are things going over in this region? We have arrived, and we have eliminated the enemy presence. So that's wonderful. These guys are going to land on Florum, which is their current capital. And we'll actually just go ahead and bombard that for a couple of days before we arrive. Not like that's going to be very long. So that should put an end to this machine uprising. In theory. Okay. Then the Belmacosa are, of course, up over here. We'll need to send some troops up here. This coattail war is definitely obnoxious. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to head up over here. Are we going to beat these guys? Probably not. We don't have to. It's fine if they take some territory over here. We got the important territory, though, in theory. Of course, if they manage to invade over here, that would be bad for us. Quite bad indeed. Okay, so we are going to be arriving here momentarily.
Are victorious.
The Jonas sequence is gone. We're not surprised by that in the slightest. Ah, this is our territory, technically. Well, let's go ahead and colonize these then. I believe that's all of them? Yep. Fantastic. So this fleet will come on over here and just chill for the time being. The second fleet has managed to take over all of this territory. That's great. The fifth fleet is going to grab up this territory here and then come in something like this. It's not going to be the most efficient, and the Euthonians might be able to take some territory, but that's okay. We're just trying to get these battle lines fully drawn. Institute the increased benefits. We did actually beat them here, which is great. We're very pleased about that. But who got the station? The Boki Consciousness. Excellent. Okay. Sounds good. So we're going to begin bombardments here. Here and here. Great. These guys have taken Mirov. And where do they want to go next? Well, let's see. There are Belmicosa colonies around this direction. So we should probably head over to here. They're partly occupied, right? Partly occupied here. Right. We're going to jump drive to here, because I'm dumb. And then we're going to land on Round Nut. That's a lot. That's a whole lot there. They're bombarding. But they've only just started. We don't actually have enough to land here. Let's check Hope's Tendrils. We can land here. So we're going to go do that and then go back to Athos after. But we're going to have to reissue that order, so we'll just come land here. Okay. The Belmicosa are at 76%. And this landing here is going reasonably well. So that is great. We can go ahead and activate the Surveyor. And now we should be able to get the Orinoco to build that. Yep, fantastic. The 7th and 19th fleets are going to merge with the 3rd. They can't. That's right, that's a Federation fleet. Guess I'll merge with the 5th and hope that we don't have any issues with that. Looks like we don't have any issues. The Mega Shipyard is still pumping out enemies, which is hilarious. I like it. Okay.
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
Well, that's always handy. We did get some starbase capacity. Let's also get some admin cap.
Our warriors are victorious. Enemy planet.
Okay, so this is now fully under our control. Where else can we go over here? Anywhere? Kind of not. There's not any Belmicosa over here. Boki Consciousness up this direction. This is Belmicosa. But honestly, I think we should come up over this way. Come to Zulbak's Maw. And then from there, we can jump drive over here.
Our warriors are victorious. Enemy planet conquered.
Excellent. We have conquered Rig. And next, let's actually head over. Let's see, that's Boki Consciousness. Belmicosa are down here. 275 and 386. That seems very doable. So we're going to jump drive down to Kothium. And from there, we will land on Nadira. And that'll be fine. We're getting increasingly close to wiping the Belmacosa enforcers off the map. That's wonderful. They don't have any real ability to resist anymore.
The conquest of a new world has begun. The conquest of a new world has begun.
Indeed it has.
The conquest of a new world has begun.
Yep, that would be true.
Initiating ground assault. Victory shall be ours.
Okay, so we are attacking over here. There are a few locations over here for us to attack. This is a partial occupation as well. So that seems wonderful. I'm not really working on increasing our alloys because we honestly don't need it right now. What we do need is not to look here necessarily. But what we do need is to go through all of our colonies. This ring world here, this definitely requires jobs, and that's easy enough. We'll just get a planetary administration for now. And this generator station, that could use gene clinics. This mining world, we should repair our exotic gas refinery. And is there anything else that we can put in here? I mean, that's a refinery. It's not a capture facility. So it's not the greatest use of our resources. But we should definitely put in a mineral purification plant since we've got 5 mining districts here. That'll be good. And that's not going to give us 8 jobs. However, we can also put in a civilian industry. There we go. And otherwise, that looks fine. Okay. So we are continuing to grab territory over here. That's all very expected, of course. And at this point, we're mostly just waiting for victories over here. So we're going to go land on Spring Rain next, and that has how much strength? 386. That'll be fine. These guys are on their way over. Okay. Loki Consciousness. There are some Belmacosan territories over here, but that's fine. And we're now up here. So we're going to jump drive to Dojak, and from there we're going to head over to here and land, I think, on Font of Knowledge. Sounds good. The 19th fleet is still moving, merging with the 5th. Is currently off over here, being awkward. 16k, huh? That fleet will fall to the Yon Company. Sounds good to me. And we're just going to continue to grab these territories. We're getting some nice disengages here. Always good to see. Now we're hitting their disengaged units, which I don't like to see. I'd like to see a disengage here as of, well, on both of these, actually. As of right about now would be an okay time to disengage them. Looks like it's not going to happen. Yikes. That was 2 armies that were full-on lost there. Not great. But this last army does not stand a chance.
Our warriors are victorious.
Sounds good. So we've finished up here. We need to jump drive over to here, and we will go ahead and land on Fruitful Endeavor next. 382 and 565. Okay, sounds good. And we're landing over here. This is actually the Belmacosan capital. They have a lot here. There's no doubt about it. This is going to take some doing. But these are all regular defensive armies, and this is their capital. So we expect this to be a bit tough. They had 74% devastation as well. So it's kind of a lot. We're definitely taking losses here, but we expected that. That's completely fine. They have a pretty good number of reserves still. I mean, our reserves are ridiculous. We're starting to put some allied units into the fray as well. That's great. Their capital will fall very, very soon. Let's check in on these guys. They're doing okay. No disengages here. Not from these guys, I mean. That's a good disengage there. Very solid. Not as solid as this one. That's an amazing disengage, actually. But it got hit in the back line, unfortunately, there. Because we didn't have a wide enough front line. So, it's sad, but it is what it is. And this guy's going to either die or be disengaged here. So we're good. We're not going to take any further losses. How are we doing on the capital? We've chunked through the reserves pretty well. That's great to see. Only 4 more reserve armies.
Our warriors are victorious. Enemy planet conquered.
And we have successfully conquered over here. So we also need to land here. We don't really have the strength to do it right now. So we're going to wait. We should also probably queue up a few additional clone armies. Azizing clones. There we go. We'll queue up a good number of those. It'll take time to build, but that's fine. We are going to want the reinforcements. And I probably should have spread them out among multiple worlds, but that sounds like work. So let's wrap up this attack on their capital. We are still hitting exclusively their front line because they still do have a full combat width here. Of course, they're hitting exclusively our front line as well, which is fine. That's the end of their reserves. They were never going to win this. The only question was how much damage would they do? And the answer is, honestly, not that much. Bradley Decker's doing a good job with the disengages. Okay. And now we're starting to hit their backline. Because their combat width is not wide enough. I would like to continue to hit their front line, but... I mean, this is the way the game works. I wish you could control whether you were hitting the backline or front line to some degree. When there's a backline opening like this. But it just goes straight for the backline when it can. And just continually takes the damage from the front line. Kind of silly, but it is what it is. So this is their capital, going to be falling momentarily here. Very few targets left to hit here. Almost cleaned up the entire backline. Now they're hitting the last frontline army. Good. Yeah, finish that. There we go. And there is the capital fallen.
Victorious.
Wonderful. Next up, we're going to head over here. We're not going to jump drive. The archives is actually owned by Boki Consciousness. Never mind, that's not necessary. We're going to jump drive to Cormagian, and we are going to land on Cormagian 1. They actually have enough that they could land here. This is the Euthonians. They're actually leaving. I'm okay with this. I'm very, very okay with this. So we have just about wiped up the Belmacosa enforcers. And how are we doing over here? We just need armies over here as well.
Initiating ground assault.
So that is very interesting. We're pretty done here with the Belmacosa enforcers. This is up to what strength? 458? Okay, we'll bring another 305 in over to Dathana. They'll arrive there shortly, and then we can jump drive and merge. That should be enough to land over here. No problem whatsoever. And there they are. They're in range to jump drive, and so they shall. They will jump drive in and merge over here. We don't have a leader in this, and we probably should have one. Let's see here. Leader cost, army damage, and army collateral damage. We'll go with that. 2, 1, and there they are. So we'll merge those together. These guys are merging here. Okay. I put the general into the wrong one. That's okay. Not a big deal. These guys have finished up in Cormagian, and at this point, they need to head to Fegor so that they can jump up to Kibben. Okay. Seems good. These guys should be merged by now, and indeed they are. They are going to go ahead and land on Mulgarima. 488 there. And in theory, we should be able to take that, although we will incur losses. There's no doubt about it.
Initiating ground assault. Victory shall be ours.
So we're going to, of course, jump drive up over to Kibben. There we go. And we'll go ahead and land on Rigged as soon as we arrive. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to wrap up this war. I think that there's not another episode worth of war in this war, but we'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.
Initiating ground